Just want to talk to you, remind you when you say I do. But you never little thing that day. Had to place to swim that day. So you across the room, I'm like angels that come my way. She asked me for my name, I'm like, hi, I'm here to say.
Hey guys.
Do I hurt for you to say, not see me again? One day to say I do. I do believe in true love too. Our hearts are for us.
How's your start today?
I'm here to say, Moya Muti, Moya Muti,
Hi guys, how are you? Hey Nyasha, hey Titan, hey Cosmo, hey Chisette, thank you so much. Hey Peps, hey Audrey, how are you? Hey Taffy, how are you guys? You can't believe what happened 5 minutes ago, guys. Ah. 2 seconds, I'll let you know. Hey Queen Percy, how are you? Muti, moya, muti, moya, muti, moya. Hey Judy, how are you? Thank you so much. Hey Nati, how are you? Fancy Bazim Shaman. Hey Food and Gas, Team. Tim, I needed you today. You don't know what happened 5 minutes ago. Oh my God. You can only but laugh. Honestly, I thought I don't have time to cry. I have to be live in the next few minutes. Hey Jasmine, how are you? My lyrics, I'm trying, Nati, I'm trying. Only the Moya Muti part. Moya Muti. I don't own any rights to the music. Hey Loves Boutique. Girl, you don't know what happened 5 minutes ago. It's okay. We thank God all the same. Hi guys, good to see you. Hey Teddy, how are you? Hey Wellington, long time. Good to see you here. Hey Carol, how are you? Yay! She's here. We'll be starting soon. Now I can't find my pen because I need to be writing notes. If you do not have a book or a notebook in front of you, I would certainly advise you guys to get a notebook and a pen before we do that. So I was getting ready to be on here. Today, unfortunately, my team is not here, so I had to do all this setting up and everything else and trying to fit into my dress, everything by myself. Thank God, whenever they're here, I'm learning how to do these things, you know. So I need my team to let me know, how's my lighting? Did I do well? But anyway, what happened is, yes, finally I tell you. So normally I have my glass of drink on the side, my laptop for all my, see my phone is now going off, my laptop with all the details on there, the questions and everything else. And then here is me trying to run around, and with this COVID, yeah, I think I've just been eating and I have gained weight, unfortunately. So I was trying to fit into my dress. I'm trying to, you know, you're by yourself. I'm trying to get the zip up. I'm like, I can't do this. I'm looking at the time. I'm like, oh my God. So I come through, I put my glass where my laptop and my phone is. And I try to move my chair just to make sure the lighting is perfect and stuff. And then the glass spills. Like I just hit the glass with my pen, or I don't know how I hit the glass. So all my drink went onto my laptop. So now my laptop is gone. My laptop is dead, guys. That's it. So I don't have my questions on here. The phone that I use is the one that I'm using for the live. I've got my pen and my paper. Yes, I have. But thank God, Carol, you're excused. Thank God Carol is ready. So guys, I don't have my laptop. My laptop is gone. So if we have a sponsor for laptops, get to me, please. But anywho, we thank God all the same. I should be crying right now for my phone and my laptop, but you know what? God is good regardless. So anyway, we have to carry on. Savage has to go on. But before I do that, I want to thank God for my team, Lorraine, Lowe's Boutique for dressing me, my manager Lorraine, my team Zim Inspired. You guys are the great. Save Mary, thank you. Uhuru for my glowy face. Thank you so much. And last week, if you were on last week, you will agree with me that even my fire alarm in the house went off because Nigel was on fire last week. He touched on, you know how when you're about to give up, he was telling us to look at the why, to look at the reason why you started that thing, before you think of even giving up. He talked about how powerful your tongue is, so we have to watch what we say about our lives. Guys, if you haven't watched it, I urge you to go back on my IGTV to just watch it. Thank you. Thank you for the gas. £10 towards the laptop. I take it. Did you try to put it in the rice? I had no time to even put it in the rice, but I will do that as soon as we finish. I will do that. I hope it will be perfect. So today we have the amazing Carol David all the way from USA. And guys, she went to bed early for us today because in their time, that side is about 9 a.m., 10 a.m. now. So she actually had to go to bed early just for us today. And she's ready. She's loaded for us to just talk about how to start to give up, how to put certain measures in place, habits, our characters, you know, all those things that we can actually put in place to make sure that we succeed in whatever we're planning to do, whether in our life or our business. So let's welcome Carol!
Hi, girl. I see you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
I was just writing to you. I say, don't worry. I've got the questions. We're both hosts, and we're going to co-host this thing. You forget a question, I'm here. I tell you. I think this just needed to be so natural. It just needed to be so natural. Nothing like those questions. This is why we're here. God knows.
Oh, you know what? God will just leave this chat today because, yeah. So thank you so much, Carol. You know I love you so much, and
I love you too, girl.
Such an amazing job out there. You know, it's like I'm just looking at your posts, everything you're doing, exercising, keeping healthy. You know, mompreneur, all these things that you're doing, and you still keep looking this young.
We have to, honey. I'm actually having my protein breakfast, my Herbalife, so I'm here. I cannot do anything without it. Like I told you, I couldn't have wine that early. It's too early for me.
Oh, but thank you so much for sleeping early to make sure that you're up for us and ready for us. Thank you so much. So for those who do not know Carol, who is Carol?
Wow, oh my God. I usually say this. I'm a transformational speaker who helps people become better versions of themselves in their personal lives as well as their business. So I'm an author, I'm a blogger, you know, I've been a network marketer for some time, and I'm just really the go-to girl when you want to get started, when you really want to go for gold. So that's what I'm really passionate about. Yeah.
And today we have a lot of people that will want to go for gold after listening to you.
They have to. They have to.
So what keeps me going?
No, I'm not taking excuses. I think what keeps me going is what you just spoke about, like what Nigel spoke about, my why. like your WHY is so important because it's a good thing that we're talking about this in COVID time. Because I remember when everything happened, I was like, my life has always been on quarantine.
Always been.
It didn't phase me. I'm like, this is the way we should live. Like, we have to live intentionally. And I think if you have a goal and you have a why, that is what will keep you going, because we don't, we don't give up on the vision. We surrender the how. So our how is what got affected. But we, like for me, it's about the vision, the focus. What is it that I want to achieve? Short term, long term. I'm big on goals. So it doesn't matter whether you've set up for 3 months, 6 months, 10 years. It's really about just the why. The why is what keeps me going. I love to see people transform. I love to see people become better versions of themselves. So it's all about health, wealth, empowerment. And health is not about just your physical, it's about your mental as well. So everything for me is very holistic. Yeah. So that's what keeps me going.
So at what point can I say, can I decide that this is what I want to do, and how do I put things in place to make sure that I'm following my why? I keep referring back to my why. I keep referring back to my vision. What are the systems, or what are the things that I need to set in stone to make sure that I keep focusing on the why?
I think I'm gonna give this obviously from a personal angle, and because I've seen 100% results with everybody that I've coached and spoken with, whether it's in workshops, whether it's online, and like I said, for us it was way before this. We didn't really get phased when the whole online thing got started, because that's what we do. It wasn't very big, like for me where I come from in Zambia, and that's something that I've been trying to push and to it's just a passion. Like, I really want people to get to a point of adapting. I think when you get to a point of understanding your why, you then have to visualize it. I mean, you may not understand a vision board, or you may not have heard of it. Maybe you're on the live now and you're thinking, what on earth is she talking about? But it's really just about, what is it that you want to achieve? What keeps you up at night? Those are the things that, I always advise people to focus on. Oprah said something like, do what you have to do to get to where you want to go. I agree with that to a certain extent, in the sense that you may have a goal. Maybe you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to do some culinary arts, or you want to, be an event planner, you want to, run an orphanage, whatever it is, and you get a corporate job. But in that corporate job, don't so much learn the corporate job, but learn the how to do. So maybe you are getting the habits of, your timekeeping, your record keeping, all that stuff. So as you are getting to your goal, that, okay, I'm going to run an orphanage. Maybe you have to learn things like record keeping. You have to take some part-time work, or volunteer, or be part of the, CSR of your company where you're working. But that is in the interim. And you tell yourself, I'm going to be here for 6 months, 7 months, 1 year, 3 years, even 5 years, because certain dreams take longer. But I think it's about visualizing. If you can get up every day, I'm a 5 a.m. girl, so that's why I told you I had to sleep early. I'm a 5 a.m. girl. So when we talk about your habits, it's setting yourself before the world wakes up. It's about you getting to a place of
setting yourself before the world wakes up.
Because our brain sabotages like the first, 5 seconds of waking up. The minute you wake up, you are already thinking of all the things that could go wrong, could go right. But naturally, the way we are made is like we think negatively before we think positively. So I think we were chatting yesterday when I was telling you that the habits of the successful are very difficult. People think that it's so easy to be successful and reach your goals. But imagine every day, regardless of COVID, regardless of whatever happens, you have to get up and tell yourself that I'm going to achieve, I'm going to do my goals. Like, I hate school right now. Like, I'm doing like my coaching stuff and I'm graduating in October. And I'm thinking, oh my God, like, how many times do we have to do like school? And, this is like my second international license. But it's about, what is it that I want to achieve at the end of the goal? Like, what is it that keeps me going? So every morning I have to do personal development, and I have to, whether I want to or not, I have to schedule, because I'm a social media marketer, I have to schedule my posts well ahead of time, because I'm working 4 time zones, Australia, Europe, Zambia, and I'm
I
working
know, I know,
three time
I know.
zones in America. So that makes it even 5,
I don't know
So
how you do
sometimes
it.
it's about setting automation, because when you do something consistently, it becomes a habit. And that's the thing. People
Yeah.
think like, oh my God, Carol's got it all together when she comes to like her managing the time and doing her schedules, and posters are already made. I'm deliberate. I take out one day in the month. I take
Okay.
out time and I say today, this is the month of August. What is my goal in August? Is it relationships on social media? Is it me marketing? If you remember the month we launched Mompreneur, I did nothing else but Mompreneur, because I
Right,
was
right.
pivoting. I was moving from workshops and doing all this stuff to online across nations, and
Mm-hmm.
I had to think, this is the core focus. This is what I want to do. So right now,
Mm-hmm.
if Taffy is saying I'm doing savvy chats, we
Mm-hmm.
are pivoting to say that what does it take to be a talk show host? What does it take?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you've been doing this consistently, even though today your laptop, my bad, has really gone off and everything, you
Yeah.
still have in you sort of like your structure. You
Oh
know
yeah.
what we're going to talk
Yeah.
about and for
Yeah.
how long. Your
Yeah.
eyes are going on the time and checking and all that stuff. Why? Because you've been doing it consistently. So it's the same
Yeah.
thing with me. What keeps me going is my goals. What keeps me going is the consistency. It's having my schedule, having my planner. Even if I left it at home, because I've been doing it consistently, I should know
When
round
you
about 12
remember.
o'clock, I
Yeah.
sort of like rest. Round about 9, 10 p.m., I should sort of like start winding down. 10:30, I should be posting on my Zambian blogs, because for them it's like 5:30, So it's all those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And you give yourself boundaries and you say, listen,
Yeah.
by 12 p.m., I'm going to sleep, but end of the month, for
Yeah.
me, end of the month in my business, in what I do, this is where we need to smash some goals. We need to be on
Yeah.
top of targets. So I know that at the end of the month, EOM, we are going all out. Team no sleep. So it's about your
Honestly.
habit.
Yeah.
What do
Because
you
for
want to
me,
achieve? Yeah.
I'm glad you've mentioned that, because for me it was the consistency, and you know how you
Yeah.
mentioned about winding down. It's
Mm-hmm.
time for this now. You start winding down. I never had that. It's something that I
Yeah.
was struggling with. I always see myself even on the phone sending proposals, sending this. I'm like, I'm tired, but I'm thinking, let me just send it. But no, I need to rest for the next day, and
Yeah.
just to put that into a habit so that it just becomes consistent, and you can succeed well, and you can actually be, what's the word, you can actually be fruitful in whatever you're
Yes,
doing.
yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's very key that you've said that, because for a long time I was hustling and without results. And I don't want to hear that word anymore. Do not bring that
And
word,
that's
not just for, like, I'm not gonna hustle. I think when you get to the point of who you are and what you're supposed to do, and you have your transformation, because remember, transformation for me, I always say it's an ongoing process. It's not like you reach a destination and that's it, like you jump off the bus. No,
yeah,
you jump off
yeah,
onto another route. You get onto a train and go to another destination. You keep going until you get to where you're supposed to be. When we
yeah.
are hustling, we are trying. And we say this in coaching, like, we don't really try, because when you're trying, you are giving yourself the option of it might or it might work.
Right.
But you have to do. There's a difference between trying and doing. So you
So
need to
it's in
get
the
to doing.
mindset then. It's in the mindset. I'm not
Absolutely.
trying, I'm doing
You
it.
No, you have to do it, because fruitfulness comes from things that have taken place. There's action and there's results that have come about. So you cannot say that you're just trying to be Taffy the event planner. How are you trying? Like, it's either
Okay.
you are doing or
Yeah.
you're not.
You're not.
And that for me made me so unfruitful for so many years, because you see, sometimes when you're a serial entrepreneur, God is so amazing. He gives each one of us the ability and the grace to do what we need to do. And we are
Yep.
all different. So I've been given multi-talents. Other people have been given one. But you need to work that one or work that 100 in the way that is seasonal. So for me,
Yep.
I had to learn that in this season, if I'm baking, this is what I need to do. Perfect the baking, get the information, understand the tools, all that stuff. In the next season, if I'm doing makeup, I need to understand who are the suppliers, what do people want. The next season, I'm doing
Learn.
event planning.
Learning.
I have to learn in that season. And then when everything is done, it's like a cake. You put on the ingredients and everything comes out and it's beautiful. But if you don't understand the season that you're in, like, okay, right now, you and me are busy. But there's some people in COVID who need to rest. They need to, because when they look at their past and the things that they've done, they cannot afford to do what we're doing. They're going to have burnout. So it's really important for you to introspect as you transform, to say, how can I best be fruitful? If I can be best fruitful by pivoting from Taffy to Savvy events, from, doing workshops as mompreneur to doing online and bringing on guests and all that stuff and giving out my skills, then do it. Because what's the point of being, in your industry and you're not seeing results? Either you are trying to compare and you're joining other people and trying to be in the know-how. Stick to yourself, be authentic. If you are born to clean toilets, clean them, clean those toilet bowls, sparkle them, make sure that mwah, so that when somebody walks in, they're like, I mean, you have to take pride. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're going to be baking scones, I know so many people are doing that in this season. Go back to your passion, because if you're not, it means you're in the wrong place. It means you're in the wrong place. There is no way you can be doing your gift and you're frustrated, you're irritated, and there's not enough time. No. Because when you are doing your stuff, there's fruitfulness. There's something in one day. And I always tell people this: you cannot qualify somebody based on who they are today, because right now somebody's gotten some knowledge. I'm getting knowledge from you today. So tomorrow, if I have to raise my level, I'm already a different person. So don't be shy to add on your skills to your resume. If you went and you watched, some event, or you were exposed to some online, marketing stuff or whatever, put it down on your resume. That's you being exposed. If you read 100 books, make sure you put those books there, because somebody out there is looking for somebody who has the time for personal development, who has the time to sit and watch, Taffy the event planner and get to learn something. So you do not dumb down on any small thing that you've invested in. Even if you spent £10 trial 7 days to watch some coach in India or Cambodia, whatever it is, you do that. And I say that because the lady who was training me for my podcast, because I do have a podcast that I haven't really instilled in, because it's not the season. But this lady was from Vietnam. Like, how many black people know people from Vietnam? Do you get it? This is the power of COVID. This is the power of pivoting. Understand that to be fruitful, you have to adapt. I hope that has helped somebody.
Fire on mountain, even for the guest is saying this, fire on the mountain. Whilst we're on the COVID season, you know how many small businesses have actually sprouted up, and because people have actually now realized what they're actually good at, because they've had time to spend in like doing an introspect of themselves and knowing who they are, perfecting their skills, and so many businesses have started up. What advice can you give to small business that have just started up in this season? What sort of like advice can you give them in terms of systems to put in place in case we have another season like this, or this season keeps going? Who knows? Probably everything now is online, but we just need systems to be put in place to excel in our businesses. What advice can you give?
Well, first of all, I'm going to start with those small businesses that always say that I want to go global. This is global. A lot of times we think that global, we have to get on a plane and book some event, and then the next thing we are now global, and that gives us so much validation and appreciation, and people think we are it. Global is here. This was inevitable. It was probably going to happen. Even if it wasn't COVID, we were all going to be like our children, our children's children. They understand all this technology. This was going to be the new wave either way. So I think I go back to my words of adapting. And, don't see yourself in the words of small. Small means that, you are relating to the market share, but what you do is not small. So understand that your small place is in the market share, but what you do is not small. And this is something that I had to learn as well, and just come to appreciation, because for those of you that are in the industry of marketing, I know that there's something called the imposter syndrome, where we suffer with, thinking you are not good enough when you're actually excellent. So today I need to tell somebody out there that you don't need to suffer from that. You are worth everything. So if your value of your services, I'll give an example. I'm in coaching. if you're supposed to do group coaching for $47, sorry, let me say I do have a group coaching for $47, but I also have an elite level where I charge $1997. Okay, $1997 is just my COVID price. It's way more than that. Okay, but then there's certain things you have to consider in adapting to say that, fine, I am worth this amount for certain things, but it doesn't mean that I dumb down just because I have a small market share. Think about how you can do things with
I think it's also, sorry to call you, I think it's also because people are scared to say their price.
And you see, being scared to say your price is sort of normal. But you see, there are people who are for you. The way you're going to reach them is not the way another person is going to reach them. Even if you come and get 1 to 2, I mean, look at you, event planning. You're not going to get like 30 people doing coming to you for their wedding there and once. We all want to get married on the 30th of March. But you see, it's about the value for that one client. That one client that comes in for that day, for that season, you put in your all. It's the same thing with somebody across your screen, across your phone. It doesn't matter what it is. That value is what you're giving them. People are paying for the value, not for how many class members they're going to have, how many people are logging in. If you set up something and you say that I'm going to transform people, I'm going to impart in people, I'm going to help them become better versions of themselves, you bring it, and you bring it with no apologies. So if you are telling us your course is $997, we are going to pay $997. If I don't think you're $997, I'm going to go to the next chap, and that's okay. We should be okay with people saying no to us, because that's taking us closer to another yes. So many times we want as small business owners to be so big out there. Being big out there does not guarantee that you are giving out the right value. You need to understand that your people will come for you. So as much as people are launching and doing all the things that they need to do in this season, what if it's a time for you to grow? What if it's a time for you to understand your industry even more? What if it's time for you to learn how to do it? So it's okay if in this season, the value is also you, because you cannot expect other people to pay for you when you haven't invested in yourself. I have paid courses over 2,000, 5,000, whatever it is. So tomorrow, I'm not going to be like, oh, that's too expensive. I don't ever go into an online program or whatever and think of price. I've just never. It's never even crossed my mind. I just think, what does Taffy have to offer? When I see that he's going to help me become a better version of myself, I'm sorted. So in this season, understand, what is it for you? Are you investing or are you growing yourself? Because it's a balance. You need to understand that you can't do everything at once. Something is going to not really suffer, but you need to sacrifice at some point. So if your family needs to understand that in this season you are trying to get your rest, you're trying to get yourself together, that's fine. If in this season you need to invest and say, listen, those savings that I was saving for that vacation, I can't even go to that vacation, let me invest in myself. Do you need to get equipment? Do you need to do some charity work? Do you do something that will bring you value and help you to become a better version for somebody else, so that they can also just ride on that high vibe?
Because I think it's something that small businesses suffer from. Even let's say you say your price, and then someone always tries to find a way for you to just lower your price, and then you just feel like, oh, let me just discount. And then at the end of the day, you're doing half a job, or you're doing more than what you're actually worth. So how do we deal even with friends and family who are actually coming asking for discounts all the time?
I think one thing we need to understand is that our friends and family should be our business clients before their family. So before they come in and start asking us for things, either they can afford us or not. You can also do what I call, like, for me, I've got a coaching program with some ladies. Okay, it's more on a spiritual side, but I do give them coaching and mentoring holistically. So what I did was, like, for me on my coaching program, I did a discount for them. So they had a discount code, and I gave up to a certain amount of people, because I'm also running a business. And then it was capped. So once that discount code was already filled out, then that's it. They had to pay the normal price. So you can do a friends and family value. You can do your mentorship or whatever it is, or your circle, your inner circle value, so that people get to understand. If your friend is a makeup artist, go and pay the value, you know, that she charges, because she went to school for it, or it's a skill that she's perfected. If somebody, you know, is a legal attorney and you need their services, you know, once or twice, you know, our friends are going to do that. But I've got like a legal friend. I don't go to her for free things anymore. I'm just like, listen, so if I need to do this, drop this, or do whatever, what do I need to pay? You know, if you need to get, so you need to understand that people put in their sweat into these things. And when you are becoming, you know, there's one question that you had asked me, you know, you said, what keeps you going? What would you tell your younger self? I would tell my younger self to be patient. I think I still tell myself to be patient. That is one skill that has gotten me so far, because you have to be level-headed. There are a lot of people out there. Just because you're good doesn't mean that they're good. Just because you give out a good service doesn't mean that they want a good service from you. Some people will genuinely exploit you. Some people will genuinely not support you. And you need to be okay with people not supporting you. And then also there are times, especially for the small business owners, and I think generally in life, you know, like for me, there was a season I went through depression, but I still had to keep my business going. And you need to understand that when you remember the why. Remember the why. When you can form a good foundation in your business in terms of systems, in terms of your support circle, in terms of understanding your industry, when life hits you on the blind side, your systems will keep going. You need to set up those things. They may look expensive. They may, you know, because you have to be the CEO of your life. And what does a CEO do? A CEO gets a manager. He gets a PA. You need to find ways. So your friend, your best friend can be your PA.
So basically run your life as a company. Run your life as a company.
You are a business. You are a business. Every time you talk, every time you walk, every time you cry, every time you laugh, you are a brand. And people buy you before they buy your services. So it doesn't matter how the world has burnt up, how COVID, if Armageddon comes, if rapture comes for your spiritual people, seeing mountains and fires on the mountain. Listen, life is going to happen, but you need to be ready to adapt and have those systems, because whilst your proclamation of your business and your goals, nobody signed up for your depression. Nobody signed up for your rent not being paid. Nobody signed up for your child's birth. Nobody signed up for that, of course, unless you're coming to the mompreneur community. We get it. But even in that, one of my coaches from the UK, Carrie Green, she runs a company called Female Entrepreneur Association. I've been with Carrie for probably almost 6 years now. She's now on her second pregnancy. Her business has continued. We still get her planners. We're still signing to the membership. So people don't sign up for your depression. People don't sign up for your heartbreak. People don't sign up for who said no to you or how your laptop crashed.
That's so powerful. That's so powerful, because if anything was to happen, I would still want my business to still carry on. So I have to put systems in place. I have to set strategic partnerships around me, and even have people around me that can support and keep this thing going.
Yeah. And it's very important to do that, because the same way we make decisions to say, what should I put on? Where should I go? What should I eat? You know, that is the same thing you should do for yourself and for your support circle. So you need to be intentional about it. If people don't give you the right vibe, the right energy, cut them off, cut them loose. Because if you today were not able to come on for the Taffy events and all that, I was still gonna switch and tell people, come on to Carol Mushota Titi. Taffy is not here. Her phone crashed, but these are the questions she wants me to tackle. And you get going. You get going. So if you were not able to, another person, your neighbor should have been able to come on and say, she gave me the password. You know, there has to be somebody out there who can run for you, who can, you know, it's like a presidential, you know what, in the presidential year here in the USA, your running mates and all these other guys and your VPs and all these people around you, even healthy competition. I don't want to be president and just sitting next to douchebags and having, you know, debates with people that don't even understand anything. Like, I don't want my VP to be somebody that I don't understand and all that stuff. It has to be strategic. Who are they going to attract? What are the votes? So it's the same thing with life. Your circle is a direct reflection of what you value. So it's really important that you understand that there should be people who should be ready to cross the ocean for you, people who should be ready to walk on fire for you, people who should understand that Taffy loves, you know, savvy events, and this is really important. And regardless of whether, you know, she needs to put her phone or her laptop in rice, whatever you call it, the show must go on.
It must go on. The company
I was
must
telling
go on.
I was telling somebody this. I said those who want marriage in COVID are getting married. Those
Yeah.
who want a wedding are waiting for COVID to finish.
Yeah.
Yep. So you need to know.
It's about what you want and what you're focusing on, and just go get it. Just go get it. No time to wait. No time to say, let me try this and see if it works. Just do it. Just
you have to because your vision is very important, but just surrender the how. The how has been surrendered to us because of COVID. So we are still go-getters. We are still going for gold. We are still wanting to achieve those goals. But our how has been surrendered to the universe. We don't know what God is going to do. We don't know what's going to happen. But we are still going to keep going and saying, okay, right now, okay, you know, Ndine wako Africa, like what do they do? Like I was telling you, going back to Africa, my insides are just churning. I'm like, gosh, load shedding, you know, internet quality, like there's so many things. So then it means I need to adjust. I need to adapt. I need to find the time to schedule my events when we've got power. I need to schedule, you know, my lives accordingly. Do I need to then move to podcasts or to audios because people can then listen or download quicker? Do I need to post things up so people can watch at another time? Do I need to have people pay into a webinar? You know, jargon for those of you that don't understand. You need to get onto the COVID languages, Zoom, webinar, all those stuff. So tick. Let's all get into that. So yeah,
yesterday
it's about adaptability.
Yeah, yesterday I was zoomed out, like zoom after zoom after. I'm like, what? But that's the new norm.
Out.
You know,
even when you're using, and it's like you know the way we've got Colgate, right? We've got so many toothpaste brands, but anytime somebody sees a toothpaste in Africa, they say that's how you should brand yourself. Like for I do so many things, but what stands out is people are like, oh my God, she's a marketer. She's the marketer. You know, like she's the marketer. Why? Because that is what I have, you know, like positioned myself. And I say this without a shadow of doubt is what needs to happen. So when you say that you are a small business owner, what solution are you bringing to the world? We don't come to you for how pretty you look or how whatever. We are buying into the vision, the solution that you said you are coming to do for me. I want to know how you're helping me. And, you know, there was a question you asked me. This is me being a co-host, guys. You asked me.
I'm enjoying what you're saying. Like what I said last time, I'm like, this thing can just, you know, it will just flow. It will just, because I'm like, you just be nuggets there.
You just be the timekeeper. I got your laptop notes here.
Just answer the questions.
Answer the questions. I'm here. You just relax. Tell me how many more minutes do we have to go? That's what I want to know. I don't even have a watch, guys. I don't have a watch because I have my schedule in my head so much. I've got alarms that ring off. Like, can you guys are donating a laptop? Can somebody donate me a watch? I want some Patek or something, some Rolex, some, you know. Come on. Some playing over here. Calvin, let's do this.
This is my support system. You see right there.
No, we need to donate. Okay, I'm going to do a GoFundMe for Taffy Events, you know, laptop. Guys, okay, see, we'll talk after this. We need some Western Union or something. This.
Before you go on to the next question, you know, I wanted to ask you, you know, I just want to ask you how your faith or your upbringing actually contributed to who you are right now.
Ooh, child, I'm an African girl.
Yeah.
I pray in my mother tongue and I pray in my spiritual tongue. Faith for me is the core of who I am, such that no matter what hell fire I have gone through, that is my non-negotiable. In life, you need to have your non-negotiable. I am not into religious practices. I have been there, done that. I'm not into, you know, denominations. I'm here about the finished work of the cross. I'm literally
Yeah.
just about what Jesus did. I'm here to talk and to empower people based on the grace that has been put in my life. It's
Yeah.
amazing how people think they can just wake up and breathe and everything is happening and there's no higher being out there. So you think you are awesome just because you are awesome? It's for me, it's just ridiculous. I believe in God. I believe in the supreme power of Jesus Christ. I believe in the Holy Spirit. That's what gives me discernment. And I always tell people this, that it's not about having different graces and different levels of the Holy Spirit. There's nothing like that. When what happens is that you just have knowledge. So our levels
Right.
of knowledge, of understanding the Holy Spirit and the guide, is what makes us understand things and adapt to life differently. Where somebody will commit suicide, another person is going to find strength and use that
Yeah.
as a springboard, because it
Yeah.
comes from the knowledge of Jesus Christ. So that is my faith, and I love and respect everybody else's faith, but you need to understand that that is my core. That's what makes me Carol. That's
Yes.
what makes me
Yeah.
the person that I am today, and gives me direction, such that even
Yeah.
when I feel like I've sinned, come on guys, we're in the flesh every day,
Yep.
something is going
Yep.
to
We
happen,
listen.
but it's
Mm-hmm.
how you get up. Those who live in condemnation and feel like they're not good enough, or maybe this thing is not working, it's got nothing to do with that. Sometimes we need to understand that where you need to apply logic is not a time for praying. Some things just need you to be
But that's
focused.
that. But it takes some sort of understanding to know that. It takes
I,
some form
I
of
i think
understanding.
I think it's a personal responsibility. I've written a book called Heart at War that I'd been writing over years, but it was cemented when I went through a terrible public breakup, and it really
Yeah, I was
cemented my
reading that. Yep.
my core, and I went through a lot of embarrassment, a lot of shame,
Yeah.
and I couldn't understand a lot of the things that I was going through until I got to the knowledge of understanding that I needed to understand who Christ was in my life alone. Before
Right.
any papa,
Right.
mama, mountain, fire, fasting, all those things happen, who are you?
Yeah.
At the core
Yeah.
of you, your identity is in Christ Jesus. It's non-negotiable.
Mm-hmm.
He's not gonna love you more or give you more stuff because you are a good person or because you love
Yeah.
people like this.
Yeah.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. He loves you because he is. So there's nothing
Yeah.
that you and I can do to make things better. So you don't have to get up and be a better person and be a whatever. Just be you. Because when you are you and you do you, God cannot bless who you pretend to be. You need to walk in
God
the
cannot
awareness.
bless who you pretend to be.
As a child of God, as a son of God, you cannot expect other people to receive the blessings that a child of God is supposed to have. We are royalty. So when you go and you think about Prince Charles or Prince William, they are princes because they come from that lineage. So you and I, we can't just walk
Yeah.
into Buckingham Palace and say, hey, can you help me, butler, do this, whatever. We can't. We don't have that identity. So it's the same
No.
thing with the king. When you get up and you do a business and you say, I'm going to do savvy chats, you go to him for confirmation before you go to the world and how many likes. Because so many times we're focused on the likes of social media before we focus on the likes in heaven. How many kudos are you getting from your father? How many kudos are you getting for your identity? So it's really important that before you seek validation, which is the brainwash of many Africans, a brainwash of so
Yeah.
many people in our region, and also
Yeah.
just, our skin. So many people out there are so reliant and so dumbed down with the verification and the clarification and the validation of people that have gone before them, who might not necessarily be focused on God. So just because it looks like, sounds like, if it doesn't have God, it's not God. Absolute truth is absolute truth. We cannot run away from that. So before you do your business, before you get up and get going, have a conversation. Ask yourself, am I doing the right thing? Is this what I was made for? Because what is at the core of you? People say, no, I didn't know. Yes, you can be abused, manipulated, and all that. But before you are abused, manipulated, and all that, it's just because you're lacking knowledge. When you come to the realization of who gives you the ability, your skills, your connections, that is God. You need to give the glory to him, so that when you're going out there, you got a little pep on your shoulders. You got a kudos to yourself, because you know who you're for and who's for you. So don't ever, ever think that you can get up and just breathe oxygen and it's got nothing
May,
out there,
may,
No,
may,
no.
may. I'm just like, we need servitures just on identity.
Absolutely.
That
It's the
alone.
core. Because remember, one step in the wrong direction of your identity, that's it, you're messed up. And if you don't have the support system, you don't have the people that are writing you, if you don't have the right foundation, you can be swayed by just somebody just waving a flag and saying this is the right direction, Taffy. It takes just one thing to
When
go
it's
the
not.
wrong direction. And that's it. But if you know, like what I was saying, when I was going through my depression, I knew at the core of me what it is that I needed to do and whose I was. So whilst I was crying and mopping about and doing what I needed to do, there was still something on the inside of me that said, Carol, you are set for this path. So in that moment, we're not saying don't cry. We're not saying don't drink the ice cream, don't eat the ice cream and eat the chocolate. Guys, you do that. I'm telling you, ice cream tastes good when you're depressed. Trust me,
It
there's
does.
just a whole different level. You
Yeah.
need to understand
Yeah.
that whilst you're done eating that ice cream and melting that chocolate and not taking a bath, get up and go. Every day, when it's
Keep
in your
going.
system, keep it going. Because whilst I was going through my depression, because I had successfully mastered the art of my habits, I still got up and read my Bible. I still got up and listened to motivational stuff. I still got up and spoke to my circle. Why? Because it's a habit that I had before the depression. That's why it's important to form the habits that you need to in this season before anything happens. Find out what you need to do. Get the mental know-how. Understand that life will happen. I think you saw it in my book. Whether you are going through it, haven't gone through it, you will go through it. That will
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, yeah.
It's a non-fact. It's part of life. It happens whether you're successful, don't want to be successful. You are going to have something, that Les Brown says, it hits you on the blind side and you need to get going. How are you going to overcome it? Go to your phone. What are the things that, I'll tell you. For me, I had a little jar. All these Muzungu stuff. Me, I had a
Yeah,
little
I was
jar
gonna
that
ask you how you actually overcame depression. I know people will need to buy
oh
your
my
book,
God.
buy the
Hey,
book, find out what happened. But what I need you to
they
talk
need
about
to.
is how you actually came through.
Oh my God. I always say that I don't know how I came through, but I know what I went through. What I did was that I was keeping all the positive things that people were saying. So for
Right.
every
Okay.
time Taffy
Okay.
said, "You are awesome, Carol," I
Okay.
saved that screenshot. I wrote down on a piece of paper and I put it in a jar. A year later, I started taking out those things. I used to declare upon my life. I used to
Yeah.
say, Carol, you are amazing. Carol, you are this, you are that. When a year passed, I took that little jar and I started reading those. Speaking about the things that I wanted to achieve, I've got a foundation called Transformed Woman, a ministry called Transformed Woman. I spoke about the things that I wanted to see in women, and I spoke about how I don't want people to make the same mistakes that I did, because a lot of people, they don't want to talk about these things. I found myself, in a relationship
Yeah.
with a married
Yeah.
person,
Yeah.
and a lot of people want to shy away from that. You see, emotions are very thin, and when you are in it, everything seems so good, because there's the love, perceived love,
Yeah.
perception.
You're
There
blind.
is there's
Yeah.
the ministry side of things, because they're coming from all this glow getting kind of ministry, so it feels like you're almost getting the right direction. They tell you the sweet nothings. I'm in a separation, I'm getting divorced, all that stuff. These are things people don't want to talk about. Let me tell you, emotions affect the businesses that we want to achieve 100%. 100%. Who you marry and who you connect with is very critical to your future. It's very critical. So the thing
Yeah.
is, with God, the gifts are irrevocable. He's not going to say, Carol, because you're such an awesome speaking person, I'm going to take it away because you're now dating a married man. God doesn't work like that. You will continue thriving. And if you're not aligned with God, it will look like you're even on the right path because you're doing, and God is, with you. But when God says no, there are certain things in there. Listen, guys, just because God has allowed it does not mean that He's approved it. So you will be shining and looking all good and doing all this stuff and posting, but at the core of you, there's always a red flag. I call it an orange, blue, red rainbow flag. There's always things
Always.
in there that tell us,
Always.
no matter
Always.
what, when I look at the Carol that I am today, hey, Tufiako, there are certain things I cannot do. There are certain things I cannot do, I will cut. Trust me, hang me upside down before I can go down a certain path. Before I go give my money for rent to a papa,
Yeah.
mama, all those things.
Yeah.
There are certain things you need to align and say, what can I do to position myself Because if you cannot have a track record of how Taffy got to where she is, the reason I applaud you, and I was telling you yesterday, I love you so much and I'm so happy, is because I saw the transition. Like, who on earth just goes and pivots into something so gorgeous, so lovely? It's because right now you have seen the need. People want to have conversations. They want to see how ordinary people have made it in life. Ordinary couples. Yesterday I told you I was watching one of the episodes on YouTube. Excuse me, on YouTube. That is life. We don't get those conversations. People want to come out all glowy and all that stuff on social media. But what we see is a frozen time. We see 2 seconds of somebody's frozen moments on social media and we validate them. There has to be consistency. Before you say that I'm a successful person, before you say that I've got a great relationship, before you say whatever, what is the integrity behind? Because one thing a lot of Black people, and I say this to Black people, because before we get to the Black Lives Matter, how are you positioning? And don't crucify me over this. But I always say, before we support local, what level of local are you bringing, honey? Before I come to you and I say, I want to support
before
you.
Please, before you land, repeat that. Please. Even the guest is saying the accent is out. Fire. Yes, please repeat that. Before you support local, what local are you bringing yourself?
Before we support local, what level of local are you bringing? What is the excellence level? There's a book in the Bible that, Daniel, that speaks about how his excellence and how he was known for the things that he was doing and how he was his standards. Black people, hold on. Black people, we need to be consistent. I don't want to find you today. You are doing scones. Tomorrow, I don't know what you're doing. Me, you will find me marketing forever and ever. Amen. That is who I am. Okay? I need to understand that if you give me a shiny band, tomorrow, don't let me find John Cena. I don't want that band that looks like it's been molded in wrestling and all. I want to see the same level of excellence when you opened. You have a club today. Tomorrow it's a church. Hello, sister. How? I mean, really? If you are wearing Lowe's boutique, honey, even if you change your boutique, I want to see that the next boutique that you get to is also the same level as Lowe's. I think I was chatting to the owner of Lowe's or whoever is responsible. There's something that I saw online and I said, I want to get this. And I was like, do you ship to the USA, And the lady responded, or the team responded and said that, yeah, we do. You need to have when you say you're international, when you are, advertising stuff, match that quality. And if you need to pause, listen, guys, you shouldn't quit, but you should pause. If you need to raise your excellence levels, if you need to go back to school, if you need to do what you need to do. I don't care if you have to post quotes on your social media for 1 year. I did that. I had somebody running my page. I had scheduled some stuff. So you can do away with the everyday stuff, people seeing your face, doing whatever. Because in the background, you are working on you. And that's how I got through my depression. I had a reason. Yes, I had a reason. I had a reason to do what I needed to do. Because remember, in life, if Savvy Chats is bigger than you, it's going to keep going. It's going to keep going. If you are doing things for yourself, in my country we say Vanione, so that people can see me, the Joneses.
Marione, did you say?
Vanione. Let them see me. Okay. Yeah. So it's not about what people should see. It's about the impact. It's about what, are you remaining on people's hearts? Are you remaining on people's minds? Leave such an imprint, like you are in an elevator, the way you say hi to somebody, the way you talk to somebody. When you walk out of that elevator, they should be like, yo, who was that? Shoo, I can't. I want to get to know more about that person, because who we are is our business card. We don't have time right now to start giving each other business cards at cocktails. You asked me on the question.
Thank you. Yes.
You said,
guys,
you asked me, are there any books you can recommend? Listen, guys, before you can get to the book, why do you want the book? Some people post books because everybody's reading, whatever it is, Tony Robbins. Everybody is reading Carol Mushota. My book is not for everybody. I always say that. It's about identity. That's why when you go on Amazon, you know, the book is called Heart at War, The Quest for Identity. When you get to my book, it tells you what it's about. You don't get a book and post it on social media so people can seem and see you like you're getting it all together. Honey, if you read aerodynamics, if you read children's books, if you read whatever, put what you read. When I say I can't really recommend a book, I can recommend your industry. I can recommend a mindset. So if you're going to read books, I would say read, you know, the book of positivity. I can, you know, talk to you about just get into personal development. If you're a prayerful person, I would tell you go and get your personal books on prayer. I love Ferocious Warrior by, you know, what's her name? Carrie Jakes Coleman. I love so many books. You know, I read about
back to the why.
Back to the why. If you 5 books, there are some standard books, you know, How to Be a Millionaire and all that stuff, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. But honestly speaking, if you just want to get groceries and not leave them at the till, I'm not really going to talk to you about Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Maybe you're comfortable. Maybe you're good. But if you want to be all crazy and you want to learn about women, you want to learn about identity, you want to learn about all that stuff, guys, it's so simple. Go to Google. Go to the top 10 books that successful people are reading, or books that have whatever. Be intentional, because what Carol reads is not what you're going to read. But there are some books that are non-negotiable. We can post them later. We can, you know, I can maybe put them on the WhatsApp stories for you as well and just tag you.
Yeah, that's fine.
But for me, books are non-negotiable. I buy books minimum 5 a month. So I'm also a fast reader, but remember, I didn't just start reading like that. It was about the consistency, the habits. So I generally, because my vocab, all the stuff that is in the book, so I can literally read the words quicker because I've been exposed to them. There are books that I don't know. I don't have a dictionary next to me. Think about context. It's like reading the Bible. The Bible is the Logos word, but we have the Rema word. So you can read the Bible, but you need to have a revelation. If you don't have a revelation of what the cross did for you, you are going to be going to the 10 Commandments, and you're going to be going to how God was slaying people supposedly with so many things. Live in the finished work of Christ. Live in grace. That's your revelation. Otherwise, the Bible is just a collection of books.
In 2 minutes. I know many people are saying I need to bring you back. I need to bring you back, Carol. We need to set another date. Honestly, because you've just been dropping and dropping and dropping nuggets. Like,
thank you, guys. Thank you.
Even on identity, I think that's very, very important. It's very fundamental for everybody to know who they are, whose they are, and then start building on their why and moving on.
We need to go to the mountain.
In 1 minute, actually, how can people get in contact with you? Talk about mompreneur and how people can actually get in contact with you.
Okay, so my core is really about helping people become better versions of themselves. So my primary focus is women, but I do give coaching programs to men. So the way you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram is at Carol Mushota TT. And my mompreneur platform is for females that want to learn how to balance their lives to become better versions in their personal lives and business. So for that one, it's at Mompreneur Empowered Life. So it's on here on Instagram, and it's also on Facebook, Mompreneur Empowered Lifestyle. For you ladies who want to stop fire, please post them. For you ladies who want to stop doing fire mountains, okay? Those of you that want to understand who you are called to be, you need to follow me on @transformed.women, okay? @transformed.woman on Instagram and Facebook. It's really important to understand that that is the ministry side of me. So don't come with religion and all that stuff. This is about the core of your identity, understanding who you are and whose you are. So if you are a woman that wants to understand what you are called to be, that is what I do. So all my handles, whether you search, it's just at Carol Mushota TT. Those are the short names on my social media pages. So if you forget, just remember at Carol Mushota TT. It will come up. And my personal page on Facebook is Carol M. David. So I do drop some nuggets there as well and stuff. Yeah.
You have been amazing. And everyone who's on here can testify you have been amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We will set another date, guys. She will come back because this 1 hour was not enough. And thank you so much. You know, I love you so much. And I
I
will be
love
in
you,
touch
girl.
very soon. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's just
Thank
gonna
you.
go off. And thank you everybody for tuning in. It was amazing. As
Thanks,
usual, we will come up
guys.
with some music. Thank you so much. Thanks, Carol.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Have a great Saturday.